Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about a camera that's been getting a lot of attention in the astro imaging world, and that is Touptek's 585C camera, this being the tech cooled version. If you're into astrophotography or planetary work or doing any kind of lunar and you're on a budget, then this camera will be of interest to you. So stick around, I'll tell you all about it and show you what it can do. My name's Glenn and you're watching Astrobloke. At first glance, the Tuptec 585C looks pretty straightforward. Compact, solid metal body, USB 3 connectivity, but inside it's packing some serious hardware. So let's look at the specs on this camera. Inside is the Sony IMX585 8.29 megapixel sensor. Its resolution is 3840 by 2160 pixels, and those pixel sizes are 2.9 microns, so it works really well with a wide field scope. Sensor size is 1 by 1.2 inch. It's got a dynamic range of around 12 stops, excellent for pulling out faint nebula detail without blowing out the bright stars, but it also has a special HDR setting which increases the stops to around 14 and bringing it nearer to a 16-bit camera. The quantum efficiency is 91%, and this means you're going to get more light from your telescope into the sensor. And the frame rate is up to 46 frames per second at full resolution, so absolutely perfect for planets and lunar work. If you're looking for a single camera that can go from lunar close-ups to hour-long nebula hunts and stay cool while doing it, the Touptek 585C is worth a serious look. So I think you'll agree it's got quite a nice spec sheet. One of the big stepping points in the hobby of astrophotography is affording all of the gear. The cameras are expensive, especially the cooled ones. They're going to give you a much cleaner image because they're going to cut down on that sensor noise by chilling it. The cameras are very expensive, and that's where this little camera comes in and is actually very affordable. So this thing comes in with all the features that you get on the high-end cameras. We've got tech cooling, you've got 0 amp glow because it's a backlit sensor, it's got a heated front screen, so it's going to help reduce any of that dew forming on the screen there and ruining your images, but it comes at a fraction of the cost. These are sub £500. I will go on the website and show you exactly how much they cost. Tuptec aren't the only company that use this sensor, there are other makes, but one thing they did offer was a choice of colour. You can get it in blue or, as you can see here, black, and I quite like the look of the black one, so that's what I grabbed. So I've used the camera before. I did it on the Horsehead Nebula, and I'll show you that image now. And as you can see, it's done a really nice job. So tonight's plan is to pair this camera up with my SV Bony SV555. This has got a focal length of 243mm. So what I thought we'd do is quickly jump on Stellarium, look for something that we can target tonight and get some data and see what we get. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so I like to do this a lot of the time when I'm not sure what I'm going to image. I just jump on Stellarium, open it up here, put it to night time, and if I look at my sensors, it's already on the AT585C. We've put it on the SV555, so we've got the field of view for that camera and scope combination. What we need to do now is look at the time for tonight. So we're looking around 10 o'clock onwards. So if we go to 2200, that's going to give us the sky at that time of night, and when we can have a look. So let's have a look over to the northeast, and oh, here we go, the east. So let's zoom it up and we'll see what we can get in this field of view. Well, there's an interesting one there. We could go for the East Vale Nebula. That could be quite interesting. In fact, that would be very nice. It's a shame I can't get all of it in, really. Let's have a look at a bit of rotation, because we've got a rotator on the SV555. So we can't get all of it in, but well, we could go for that. Now that looks like a very nice bit of framing, doesn't it? So that is the western veil with Pickering's triangle. That would be a very interesting image. I think we'll go for something like that. That would be really good. So I'll get Nina fired up and we'll put that in search and we'll get it framed up on Nina and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to go and get this connected up and get it ready for tonight's imaging. So I've got the camera now bolted on to the SV555. Looks quite smart actually, just the black and red. And I'm going to be putting the mini guide scope from ZWO on top there. And we'll just slide that in very gently. There we go. And we can just nip that up as well. And it's all going to go on my Chem 26 mount here. So we'll get this loaded up and make sure everything connects. A quick balance and we should be good to go. So I know that the tripod is polar aligned because I was imaging last night with a fantastic new scope that I've got, a Sky Rover 86MA. If you've not seen my review on that scope, check it out here. It is a lovely scope. It's a quadruplet 86 aperture and 602mm focal length. Has been taking some fantastic images, but tonight we're going to be much wider at 243mm, and we should be able to stop this down to f4.5, so it'll be nice and fast, and we'll get an image, hopefully a nice tight image of the western veil. So I'm just going to make sure this is nice and tight on here so it doesn't slip down in the night. We don't want our lenses dewing up, otherwise we don't get to see an awful lot and that'll muck the guiding up. So anyway, very easy for this rig to carry this little setup. It's a lovely little setup. So we'll get this now connected on Nina, make sure everything's as it should be, and then we'll be ready for when night falls to get some images. Catch you later on. Okay, so we're in Nina and I thought I would show you my process of connecting new devices in case that's something you need to do, and then you can see how I go about sorting out the framing for a target. So first of all, I'm all set up for the Sky Rover 86MA. I have had the SV555 set up before, but with a different camera, the 24C. So what we need to do here is, let's just highlight that, copy that down, because that will copy some of the details across, and then we can adjust it accordingly. So if we load that profile now, okay, that profile's loaded in and we can now give this a name. So we got the SV555 and we're pairing it up with the let's put Touptek, we'll put a T 585C. Okay, that's good. And then basically there's just a few little details that you need to put in here. You've got the 243, that's fine. We can put it 4.5. Got Chem 26, so that's all set nicely. We haven't got autofocus or dome. Under the imaging, we just want to make sure that the files are going to the correct file. So we'll put it to the image files. I make an image file because I find it easier. It keeps everything neater. We haven't got any autofocus things, so that's all good. Under plate solve, we're going to be using ASTAP. That should be fine. Exposure time, we've got it down 3 seconds. That'll be all right, actually. So the gain, I do believe the gain for this camera is the same as the Altair Astro. And if you go on their website, I think it's set at 150 is the suggested gain for this camera. So let's First of all, in the camera list here, we're just going to refresh. On the drop down, it should be there. There it is, 585C. Let's connect that up. So that's the gain I had for the other camera. So we're going to put 150, and I saw 100. I think it was 100 for the black level. But I will double check those and make sure everything is set as it should be. We're going to have the high conversion gain on, so that we get as good an image as we can. Dew heat is turned on at the moment, so we'll turn that off because it's 31 degrees at the moment Celsius, so it's a nice hot day at the moment. Targeting down to -5, that's cool, that's all good. So we're going to come down here. Now we're going to need to rotate the image. We've got a rotator built in on the SV555, which is really nice. So on the rotator, we're going to put it as manual rotator. And you'll see later that what Nina does is it does a plate solve to center the target, and then it uses plate solving to get the complete rotation for the field of view. Okay, the mount is the Chem 26, so we'll make sure that's connected. And then we want Pegasus switch there, because we've got the Pegasus Powerbox Advance connected to the mount. And that's going to be giving power to everything, all the USB connections, and the dew straps being on auto dew. There we go. Excellent. Right, let's go to the framing tab, and we've got the focal length correct there, and we want to put in here NGC 6960. Now, importantly, don't just push enter here. You must go to the list or the one that comes underneath and tick it, and it will populate in the RA and deck coordinates. You can see the transition of it tonight. It's going to be nice and high, 68 degrees, so that's good. And so what we'll do now is we'll load that image. I've got the field of view set at 10 degrees, so it should all fit in because we are going fairly wide. And then what we'll do is we'll work on the framing that we want, and then tonight Nina will work that out. Okay, so we need to, let's zoom it up a little bit if I can push the correct button. Okay, let's go for a little rotation on this. So, and then drag the box, and wherever we put this, this is where Nina will plate solve to. So we want something around that. That looks nice. That'll be good. That looks good. So what we do now is add target to sequence. We can go to sequence, and now I've already built up sequences, so I can just push one shot color and it will populate it in. There we go. And now what I can do is under my templates, and I've built myself a start sequence and an end sequence down here, and I want this to start at nautical dust. So under instructions, I can go down here and go wait for a time, put it above the sequence. It's gone red, and under there we just put nautical dusk. So that's when I want it to start. So that's 22:01, and then it will keep going until 3:59, and then it will stop, and then basically we just push play, and you'll see it's waiting. We've got 5 hours and 24 minutes before kickoff. So what we'll mostly do is come out a little bit before that to try and get some focus, and then it will be ready to go. So I will see you when it gets dark. Okay, so as you can see, it's night time now. We've slewed to the target, and I'm just looking at the plate solving at the moment. We've got a narrowband filter in, so I think it needs a little bit longer than 3 seconds. I'm giving it 5 seconds for it to try and grab enough stars for the plate solve. Now obviously a digital rotator would get this much quicker, but the manual works. Oh, hang on a minute. Anti-clockwise 77%. Okay. little bit more. I can actually see the eastern veil on the screen. Yep, that's pretty cool. Okay, I think, and what it will do is when it's happy with the rotation, it will centre it. And it's happy with that, and now it's going for, it's trying to centre it. So that's right, now it's starting to guide. Let's have a look at the guiding. You know, the guiding looks like it's lovely and settled straight off. I must say this Chem 26 has always been a very, very good tracking mount, and I've never had any issues with the guiding. Next door's dogs aren't happy that I'm out in the garden. Okay, and we're imaging, so we'll see the first image come in, and we'll have a look. I've just got this light from the PC lighting me up, but as soon as the first sub's in, oh. I've got a carp fishing chair that likes to eject me off. How funny. God, I took a pearl of there, but that's on camera. Okay, let's get it. Try again. That's better. So yeah, guiding looks pretty good. Happy with that. That looks pretty steady. So we're just waiting for the first sub. Let's have a look at the... I can see the framing, so as soon as the first sub's in, we'll have that, and then we'll have a night of imaging. It'll be really good to see what can come back. So this is just the camera set at 150 gain and high dynamic range, a 500 black. Now this is what's suggested by Altair. The Altair cameras use the Tuptec, but they have their own little bit of circuitry in there and a different casing. But I would have said that the settings are the same. I know that on the sensor analysis, they both come back with the same numbers, so that's why I've used Altair settings for this Touptek camera to see what we can get. And yep, it shouldn't be too long and we'll have our first image in. Oh yes, and that's the first sub in, and that looks amazing. That's come out really well. That's a 5-minute sub. We're looking for a 6nm dual HA03 filter by Altair Astro, and that's come out really nice. We're at f4.5, 243mm, using the Tuptec 585C Tech. Chill to -5 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to leave this running all night and see what we can get. I'm hoping that moon is not going to ruin things. So that's the performance of the Touptek 585C tech call camera. The veil complex there I took on my SV Boney SV555 scope, and the image there of the Horsehead Nebula I took on the Samyang 85mm camera lens. Just say the 585 is brilliant for getting out and about, putting it on a small rig. You've got that small sensor size, so it's very well suited for wide field objects. So let's have a quick jump on the website and look at the cost of this camera so that you can see what it's going to cost you to get into astrophotography if you want an Astro cooled camera. The website is touptekastro.com. This is where I bought my camera from, and as you can see they've got it for $569 US, which is just a fraction over 420 pounds in English money. We can put here UK plug, you can get anti-reflective glass or IR cut filter at no extra cost, and of course I ordered mine in black. There's no extras there, and at the moment they've got a 30% saving, so an excellent price when you think you're getting a cooled tech astronomy camera for £420. That is a really good easy step into the hobby of astrophotography. Well, I think you'd agree it's a good price. It certainly isn't busting your budget as much as some of the cameras can. So maybe it's something you want to consider. I had absolutely no issues at all ordering directly from Tuptec. Their customer service is very good. They're very polite. Loads of emails keeping you up to date of where your shipment is, and certainly no complaints from me. So that concludes this video, and I hope you found it interesting. I think the Touptek 585C is a brilliant little camera and a great first step into the world of astrophotography. So if that's something you're looking to do, then check it out. Please let me know how you get on with it. I'd love to see some images, so tag me in, or message me, and I'll definitely take a look. It's always great to see other people's work. So that's all there is for me today. Until next time, I'd like to wish you all clear skies.